What continent is Brazil in?
Can you teach me,
You
Brian?
ever notice how some voices don't just speak, they signal? I'm talking about that high, soft, almost childlike tone. The one that makes people lean in without realizing why. The one that feels less like language and more like instinct. Now take someone like Chloe Yomi. Blonde, bubbly, exaggerated femininity turned all the way up. She doesn't just talk. She performs a tone, a texture, a persona that echoes something older than social media. Let's go back in time to the television show Three's Company. Specifically Chrissy Snow. The archetype. The ditzy blonde who isn't really dumb, but plays dumb. Not powerless, but performs powerlessness. And here's where it gets interesting. Because that voice she uses, that baby talk, is not random. It taps into something deeply wired. Studies suggest that high-pitched, exaggerated speech signals safety, affection, even vulnerability. It lowers perceived threat. It invites care. It says, without saying, I am soft. I am harmless. You can come closer. And people do. Not because they are broken. Not because they are secretly part of some fringe subculture. But because the human brain is ancient, and it still responds to cues of nurturance and innocence whether they are authentic or performed.
I only have one Instagram. Like, that is my Instagram. So when I meet a real, normal person that doesn't know what I do for a living, and they're like, can I get your Instagram? I'm like, sure. And then they never talk to me again because they see all the cringy ass shit that I do.
That is the first layer. The second layer is where people get uncomfortable. Because when adults perform childlike traits in a sexualized context, the question appears almost immediately. Is this just performance, or is this something deeper? Something like paraphilic infantilism. Now that term sounds clinical for a reason. It refers to a very specific behavior pattern. Adults who role-play as infants. Diapers. Bottles. Full regression. And even within that word, research shows a split. Some are driven by fetish. Others by comfort, by escape, by a need to feel cared for. But here is the key distinction. Chloe is not doing that. She is not regressing. She is not abandoning adulthood. She is exaggerating femininity. She is amplifying traits that already exist in cultural imagination. Softness. Youthfulness. Helplessness. Then packaging them into something clickable, watchable, monetizable. That is not pathology. That is branding. And branding thrives on recognition. We recognize the archetype. The baby voice. The daddy language. It is familiar, not because it is rare, but because culture has been rehearsing it for decades. Social media just turned the volume up. So when people ask, why are men drawn to this? The answer is less scandalous than it sounds. It is not necessarily about infantilism. It is about proximity to innocence without the responsibility of protecting it. It is about simulated vulnerability. A controlled illusion. A space where desire and caretaking blur just enough to feel emotionally charged, but not real enough to demand consequence. And that illusion is powerful. But it is still an illusion. A performer who understands exactly what she is doing. Someone navigating attention in an economy where personality is currency. So what are we really looking at? Not a disorder. Not a secret subculture. But a mirror. A reflection of what audiences respond to, what culture rewards, and how easily performance can be mistaken for identity. The voice is not the truth. The reaction to it might be.